sorry.
Oh.
My questions are for her. I apologize.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
And next we have Melanie Billingsly with the Texas Jail Project and herself, on behalf of herself. Once.
My son's with me.
So once again, if you'll identify yourself and your position on the bill.
Yes, hi. Let me get my readers on. My name is Melanie Billingsley. Good afternoon, Chair,
Ms.
Vice
If you would prefer, either way is fine. If you would prefer to sit, you can move that microphone a little closer to you
Thank
and
you. I
adjust it.
appreciate
Either
that.
way is good.
Right. Okay. My name is Melanie Billingsley, and I'm here to speak for HB 305. I'm for it. Today marks the 8-year anniversary of my mother's death and my son's arrest in Harris County. My son is 29 years old now. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia at a young age, and we struggled for years to find appropriate help for him. 2 years after his arrest in 2019, he was found incompetent to stand trial. It took almost another year before he was transferred to Vernon State Hospital in June of 2020 for competency restoration. He spent 9 months in Vernon. When he was brought back to Harris County Jail in March of 2021, it was like a miracle. The medicine made a difference because he was almost stable and almost normal. But that didn't last long. His medications were changed because the jail formulary was different from the state hospital formulary. And soon he began to deteriorate. He went through multiple competency evaluations and forced medications through court orders. He was found incompetent to stand trial again in August of 2022. It took them until February of 2024 to send him back to the state hospital. This time he was sent back to Vernon for civil commitment pending criminal charges. 2 years later, in August of 2024, Vernon State Hospital deemed him competent, and he was sent back to Harris County Jail in September of 2024. I cannot even begin to express how inhumane and brutal this repeated cycle of deterioration and restoration has been on my son and our entire family. We are all stuck in this loop together. It feels like purgatory, only worse. We are all victims in this situation. This entire saga has taken a huge toll, not only on my son's physical health, but also our families. According to data from Texas Commission on Jail Standards, in the 8 long years that my son has been incarcerated, 121 people have reportedly died in custody in Harris County Jail. A majority of them pre-trial. People with serious mental illness are the most vulnerable population in jail. They can't fight back for themselves. I believe stipulating strict timelines for hearings after competency restoration would not only save enormous resources in a system that is already overburdened, but will also mitigate the suffering for victims and defendants who are legally innocent. I implore this committee to vote yes for HB 305, and I do have a comment, if I may, towards the remedy for maybe pretrial hearings. It was said to me that maybe pretrial hearings can take place at the hospital before they leave, because it is the time in the jail that they sit waiting, that they deteriorate. At the hospital, they can do video hearings and remain on the medication without lapse. That is important. That medication makes a difference.
Okay, I appreciate you coming with your testimony, and I'll ask if there are any questions. Ms. Jones?
I don't know that I have a question, but I was just thinking about that because I do Zoom hearings now that I'm in the middle of the legislature since I can't go back to Harris County when I'm here. And I was just saying to my colleague, Vice Chair Wu, because we both do, we're in the criminal arena. Like, how does that work? How do we get to Vernon? And then when you said Zoom, it's like the answer magically just popped up. We can do that. The question I would guess would have is maybe should look into it, is if they have the capacity at the mental health at Vernon to do it, is the question. Would they have a judge? I mean, if the judge could Zoom in.
I know I've Zoomed in with my son there, so they do have Zoom capacity.
So anyway, but yeah, I actually think that's a good idea.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, we sorry for your experience, and we appreciate you being here.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Members, that concludes our witnesses for and against, but we do have as a resource witness